All right, fantastic. How's everyone doing today? If you're on the call, if you have any questions regarding this program, just put it in the chat box. I may not get to it right away, but I'll be checking my messages throughout this presentation, and I'm going to help answer your questions along the way. I'm going to talk about your wish is your command. This is a CD set program that I listened to a couple years ago, and I listen to it every single year. It really helped me get my mind in the right place, really helped my mind to make better decisions in life. Now, there are a lot of components to this. Today, I'm just discussing the broad strokes. I highly recommend you guys get the program yourself. For a limited time, you can get this program completely for free. There's going to be a link in the description, so it'll be the first link in the descriptions. You guys can click on that link, and you want to be using a coupon code, which I also have in the descriptions. Now, what is your wish is your command? It's a series of lessons, and it takes about 5 minutes to learn, but a lifetime to master. It's just haven't taught about all this, and I want to go through what of these lessons are, so you guys can begin to learn about them for yourself and think about where you are. Now, if you're interested in manifestation, if you're interested in bettering your life, whether that is your relationships, with your health, with your finances, you want to go through these lessons on a regular basis and really examine yourself. Where are you at with these lessons? Now, the very first lesson that Kevin teaches is, who do you listen to? When we're going through life, there's going to be many people out there that offer you advice. I mean, there's countless advice that you can get. You can go on the internet. Now, they also have AI, you have Grok, you have ChatGPT that can give you a lot of advice. Now, when it comes to different information that you're getting, Kevin recommends you want to listen to people, okay, who have been where you are and where you want to be. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, this sounds very reasonable, but are you actually doing that on a day-to-day? Now, for example, I listened to the wrong people for a very long time. I trusted people that were working at the gym. There was a 24-hour fitness in downtown San Diego, and I thought, well, obviously, this guy or this lady, she knows or he knows more than me because they have a certificate. They have a certificate, they have some training in this field. Maybe they went to school. Well, the problem is that I saw a lot of these trainers, they were severely out of shape. People are listening to the wrong people. We've been trained to have this authority bias. Oh, whatever they say, I'm going to do because they're the ones with the degrees. They're the ones with the certificate. What do I know? You have to really look at your eyes, use your eyes, and look at your personal trainer. Let's just say you're hiring a personal trainer for your health. Are they in much better shape than you are? If they're not in much better shape than you are, I'm talking about somebody that has achieved. Maybe they've been where you are before. Let's just say before they had this weight loss rebound, they understand where you are. And now they can take you to a place where you're no longer weight loss rebounding. Now, that's going to encompass a lot of different things. There are many modalities along the way. There are nutrition plans, there are workout plans. Then maybe there are a lot of things that you never considered before on your health journey. Now, the mistake that people often make is, well, I am in my 40s. I'm going to get myself a personal trainer in their 20s, and they can give me the proper advice. I don't think that's going to work out very well for you. Maybe that person is in their 20s. They have their metabolism firing on all cylinders at all times. They don't even have to work out that much. And some of these guys and gals, they're in shape all year round. They don't really know the struggle you're going through right now with different hormonal changes. When you get up into your 40s, you have all this baggage in you, maybe throughout your 20s and 30s. You've been struggling with chronic constipation, and they haven't experienced any of that in their early 20s. So who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are. They struggle. They went through some type of, I would say, the dark valley, okay? But now they're on the other side. They know if I to take the series of steps and I follow through on them consistently, I'm going to be in a much better place. Another mistake that people make is, well, I'm going to listen to the doctor, okay, because I don't know what I'm doing with my health. So when you go to the doctor, what are they going to do? They're going to send you on a whole bunch of errands to take a bunch of tests, and you're going to get these lab reports back. And they're going to tell you, well, you got some test values within range, some test values out of range, and this is where you got to do better your health. Well, the problem is I have with that is many of these doctors, they're severely unhealthy themselves. They have a BMI that's extremely high. When they're criticizing your lab reports, you tell them, you need to give me your lab reports. Let me see how wonderful your lab report is. Let me see your blood test. Let me see your CD4 panel. Let me go look at your ECG, all right? Let me look at your lipid profile. That's what you got to be doing. Because a lot of these doctors, they're so trained in an automatic response. Like, I'm looking at these symptoms. The next thing I'm looking for is some type of drug to temporarily fix the problem. But what is the root of that problem? Are they resolving the root of the problem or only fixing the symptoms? So who do you listen to? Many people, you want to evaluate that very carefully going forward, because you may be listening to the wrong people. They're not going to take you to the destination that you're looking for. It's going to be one detour after the next. And that's how the system is trained. The system is really trained to make you go on a whole bunch of detours, so you never really fix the problem at the root. The next lesson we have is called the teachability index. Okay? The teachability index has two components, and these are very key components you want to learn. The first one is, what is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? The second part is, what is your willingness to accept change? Okay? Both of these are incredibly important. I'll explain why. What is your willingness to learn? How do you quantify that? How do you even evaluate something? Oh, I'm a willing person. I love to learn. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how willing are you to drop all your favorite activities? Maybe it's Netflix. Maybe it's Hulu, your favorite video games. Maybe you like to drink with your buddies. You like to play golf. And you're willing to set that aside. You're willing to set aside the time aside to actually focus on learning a particular set of skills that's going to better your health. That could be for your finances. That could be your health. That could be for your relationships. You're willing to set aside your resources. You're canceling your Netflix account. You're canceling maybe your Amazon video streaming services, Hulu, and you say, I'm going to set all that aside. I'm actually going to use that money to buy books, attend conferences, going to buy some audio programs, go to some events. That's how you know if you have that willingness to learn. And you have to really be very objective with your assessment. On a scale of 0 to 10, what is your willingness to do that? The thing I just described right now, you're willing to set aside your time and set that time aside to actually learn something to better your life. Give yourself a score on 0 to 10. The next part is, what is your willingness to accept change? And this is also a scale that you give for yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. Now that you've learned some of these lessons, maybe you go online, you've taken some online courses, you read some books, you listen to some audio, maybe you spend some money to go to some events. What is your willingness to accept change? You're willing to say, okay, if I'm going to better my life in this area, there's going to be specific action steps I need to be taking on a regular basis to see those results. Many people, they have a lot of information in their heads. They're never about applying anything. They have all the conference workbooks. They have a lot of programs sitting up on the shelf. But when it comes to actual real application, they're at a 0. They haven't applied anything. It's kind of like you can watch P90X. You're spending all your time watching these workout videos, but you never put the actual work in. You never do the workout videos with Tony Horton. So you know your willingness to accept change is absolute 0. So here we have these two components of the teachability index. First one is, what is your willingness to learn? Give yourself a score of 0 to 10. Next, what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score of 0 to 10. You might be a 10 out of 10 with the willingness to learn. You are spending that time. You said that, okay, I want to better my life. I am going to pick up those books. I'm going to spend time reading them. I'm going to buy some audio programs. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to go to events and actually attend them. But when it comes to where the rubber meets the road, what is your willingness to accept change? Are you actually going to do the workouts yourself, or just let that P90X program sit on the shelf? Many people, they have a 10 out of 10 willingness to learn, but they have a 0 out of 10 their willingness to accept change. What you want to do, you want to multiply these numbers together. So you got 10 multiplied by 0, you're still at a 0. What that means is your teachability index is 0. You're not teachable. You may have all the positive intention to learn, all the positive intention to partake in some courses, but when actual implementation, it just isn't there. So give yourself an honest assessment of it, because many people, your life ain't changing because you don't know the teachability index and you haven't applied it correctly. So the first part, what we talked about, who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. If this health practitioner doesn't look so healthy, you may not want to be listening to this health practitioner. Or this person, all they talk about is selling supplements. It's like, buy my supplement, buy my supplement. But if you really take a quick, honest assessment on how they look, do they look vibrantly healthy? If they don't look vibrantly healthy, maybe supplementation is not the path, or that cannot be the only tool in your arsenal to better your health. Next, we talk about the teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? Give yourself a score on a scale of 0 to 10. And what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score on a 0 to 10. Multiply these numbers together, and that's how you know if you're teachable. Next is the training balance skill. If you're interested in the law of manifestation, if you like listening to Neville Goddard, if you like to listen to The Secret, okay, or watch that documentary, you're into Dr. Joe Dispenza, well, you're going to love the training balance scale. Think of a scale, okay, that goes back and forth. On one side of the scale, it's about how you think, how you feel. What is your why? Your dreams, goals, and attitude. Your mental processes, your vibration, your internal motivation. And that's on one side of the scale. On the other side of the scale, you have the how actions, the specific techniques, strategies, action steps, plans, activities, and physical action. Now, the world's going to tell you the reason you aren't where you are right now with your life is because you don't know the how. You don't have the specific action steps, the strategies, okay, the plans, the activities. And that's the key that you're missing. Well, according to Kevin Trudeau, he thinks that plays a very, very small component in achieving your goals. How you think and how you feel has a much stronger way in, has a much more importance than all the other stuff, okay? And it may seem counterintuitive to what I discussed earlier with the teachability index, but that's why you got to get the program. You know, it's a free program. You guys can download it for free. So Kevin can explain to you in detail why the training balance scale, how you think and how you feel is more important than all this other stuff, okay? I'm just providing the broad strokes on your wishes, your command CD set. You guys want to dive in deeper. This is a 14 CD. It's got 14 hours of content in it. You're not going to be able to listen through your first time around. You're going to just listen to it, digest a little bit at a time, take notes, and you want to re-listen to it. It's specific parts. It's not very clear the first time you listen. I mean, I still listen to it. I learn something new every single time I listen to this program. Next, I'm going to talk about the 4 steps to learning. Just give me 1 sec. All right, 4 steps to learning. What is this all about? Well, there is a sequence of steps, and I want to relate this back to riding a bicycle. When you start riding a bicycle, you don't know what you're doing. You may have training wheels on. As you are getting accustomed to being on that bike, maybe being on that tricycle, how you put your hands on the handles, right? How you're gonna use your feet along the way. There's a lot of moving parts. But when you first get on that bike, you don't know what you're doing. You're in a stage of unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. There are many things that you don't know. There are many things that are off your radar screen right now. There's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a cognitive bias. Many people, they are so confident in their knowledge on a particular topic. And because of their confidence, they're very loud. But they're confident in their own folly because they don't know everything. Never be that person that knows everything. There's always something that you don't know. Unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. Okay? But over time, as you get on that bike, over time, you're like, oh, I'm developing something called conscious incompetence. I'm not great at riding this bike. That's okay. You know that you don't know something. You know that other kids, they're riding that bike very, very smoothly. Okay, some of them, they may not even have their hands on the handlebars anymore. They're that confident. But as you know that, oh, there is a series of progression. I can learn to balance myself on this bike. And later on, you become conscious competent. You know that you know something. It's not a complete mystery to you. You know how to get back on that bike. Okay, even if you fall, you know how to get back up. And you know how to get the whole thing going again, right? You know, I get the momentum going, get that bike rolling in the right direction. And over time, unconscious competence is you know how to ride that bike, and that success is automatic. What that means is there might be seasons in your life you don't even get on a bike. You do not get on that bike. And then for whatever reason, maybe you go on a trip, a family trip, now's that opportunity to ride the bike. But do you get overly anxious about, oh, I have to relearn how to ride that bike? No, you don't. Because you've developed something called unconscious competence. And that's what we're trying to look for. There are many different stages to learning. There are many different stages to what you know. But over time, you're going to go from a place of unconscious incompetence to a place of unconscious competence. And that's where we're trying to get to. Doesn't matter you're trying to master right now. And sometimes you unlock something and you're all the way back to square one again. You go from a place that you think that you know a lot about something, unconscious competence, but now something else opened up. You're right back to square one. You're in a place of unconscious incompetence. And that's the game of life. We are all in this game. We are all learning, navigating through life. Whether that you're trying to improve your personal health, your finances, or your relationships, these are all areas we're trying to learn, okay? So what did we discuss today? Today we discussed your wish is your command, and there are 4 specific lessons in the CD set series. The first one is, who do you listen to? Second one is the teachability index. Third one is the training balance scale. And the last one is the 4 steps to learning. Now, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to give you guys some information how you can actually get to this program. So over here, if you look on my descriptions of this video, you want to click on the very first link, okay? You're going to click on that very first link. I'm just going to open that up in a separate browser so you guys know exactly what's going to happen. Okay. So when you go on this particular site, you will see a sales page. Now, if you don't want to read through all of this, if you want to get to the program right away, what you can do, you can just click on Buy Now. You click on Buy Now, you want to fill out all information, and over here, this is where you put in the coupon code, YWIYC. Your wish is your command. You click on Apply. What's that's going to happen? It's going to give you a $500 discount for this program. You want to fill out all this information, including your payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. It's just there to know that you are serious about this offer, okay? And you want to just hit complete your order. Once it completes your order, it's going to send information to your email right away. And you want to click on that link. and it's going to take you directly into the program. So you can get this 14 audio series, Your Wish is Your Command, How to Manifest Your Desires, completely for free. Okay. So I wanted to stay on this call a couple more minutes to see if you guys have any questions for me regarding Your Wish is Your Command. I'm still learning. I'm still applying these lessons every single day. Because if you want to better your life, there's just so many competing voices out there. You want to listen to people that do have the expertise, but you want to listen to people not only do they have a bunch of head knowledge, but they've been where you have been. Okay, maybe they went through a season where their health wasn't doing very well for them. They understand the pain that you're going through right now, and as a result, they found a way, or they found a series of steps that could be helpful. Now, on your way to health recovery, you may not use all the modalities that they teach. However, you are going to learn something, okay? You may not take it to the degree that they have, but that'll be another tool in the arsenal that's proven for somebody else. So, me personally, I work as a health practitioner. That's part of what I do. And what I do, I teach people about digestive health. So a little bit of myself, just another regular guy. For many years, I had that weight loss rebound. Even though I had a personal trainer, I could not lose weight. It was horrible. Even though I ate right for the most part, had a personal trainer, went to the gym very, very often, could not achieve the six-pack abs. Did not matter how much I worked out. Well, many people, they're dealing with chronic constipation. And that's what I tell people, you gotta fix that first. If you're dealing with any type of chronic constipation, you have waste material, that fecal matter, just sitting inside of you, primarily in the large intestine. So there's also a lot of waste material that get trapped in the small intestine as well. You want to learn something about human physiology. You want to learn a lot about human physiology. That's what you got to do. Get yourself a book on human physiology and begin reading it. Because you're not going to, you got to be your best advocate. You got to learn and train yourself to heal yourself. Okay? So this is part of what I teach. You guys can get this program. I'm going to share the link in the comments below. Okay, if you guys are interested in this. But more importantly, I want you guys to just get the program from Kevin, the special offer, right? You can get it for completely free. Get it for completely free. Use the link in the descriptions below. Click on that link. Instead of reading through this whole sales page, click buy now. After you click buy now, you're going to put in the coupon code YWIYC, hit apply, you can see now the total is 0. It's 0, you guys can just put in the information along with the payment information and complete your order and begin listening to it. That's how you know you're an action taker. Many people, they're like, well, this is free, there's no value to it. Listen, if you take it serious, there will definitely be a lot of value. If you're just feeling like your life is going nowhere, is stagnant, well, maybe you're missing some keys. Who do you listen to? Who are you listening to right now? Okay? What is your teachability index? Right. Maybe you download this program, or you listening to it, setting that time aside to learn. So what is your willingness to accept change? Are you willing to make the changes in your life to better your life? And really listen to Kevin, how he explained the training balance scale, because it's going to do a much better job than I ever will. And of course, you got to have that 4 steps to learning. What areas of your life are you unconscious and incompetent?